We're back. We are so back. And I'm going to the store right now, but, you know, we're going to start this video in the car, and then we're going to transition to the setup. Back to the YouTube recording studio. And yeah, you clicked on the video for a reason. These are my 5 biggest regrets. We'll start off. Number 5 is the worst. Number 5 is the most toxic, you could say. Biggest regret. But number 1 is the telling myself, the self-hate. You know, oh, you're a little bitch. Oh, you shouldn't talk to this person. They won't like you. Oh, you should keep working your Amazon job. You know, you deserve to be here. You know, the self-fulfilling prophecies. Look, you realize is that your brain really does attach to everything you tell it. So it's called the lazy. If you're gonna tell yourself that you're not good enough, buddy, I got some news for you. You are not good enough. And that's not because it's actually the truth. It's because the fact that you tell yourself that will make you attach to it. It will make you take the actions of someone who does not. These people, they let me go. And it's like, my blinker's on the other way, shorty. Cut that off the video. But that is because your brain attaches to what you tell it. So, you know, that's going to make you act the way that you're telling yourself. And, you know, if you tell yourself you're a loser, if you tell yourself you're a little bitch, I promise you right now that it is probably true. It is probably true. And even me telling myself this like yesterday, you know, like, nah, bro, you're a loser, whatever. You know, there is still some truth to it. There's some reason to saying something, but you got to understand the power of your mind. When you get into a negative loop like that, you really need to, you know, take a step back, take a deep breath, and think, wow, I really let myself get into this dumb ass fucking situation.
Stop using your dad's razor to shave your
it usually
ball.
happens later in the day. I lose energy, but you know, I'm trying to fix that. You know, we're gonna start working out later in the day. Then post cut. Want to know how we fixed it? We just locked the fuck in. Don't listen to a fucking thing I'm saying. Because working out is so autonomous for me that, you know, I have more things I need to work on throughout the day that I want to do later in the day because I like working out early, but it just won't happen because my brain starts to shut off around 4:30 p.m. Now, you know, the next thing, or you know, maybe I'll just throw in a story about one time that I told myself that I was not good enough and how it really cost me. You know, honestly, it really cost me in high school. Every single day, you know, I would be in this belief, be in this box that, you know, I just shouldn't talk to other people because they've already formed their opinions about me, and because they don't talk to me, that must mean they don't like me. Believe it or not, you look back and it more so just, I was just a very unapproachable person. I was just a very unapproachable person. And it also seemed like I didn't like them, so why even bother? You know, people don't want to work very hard just to get the bare minimum out of you. So if you aren't open to, you know, giving the bare minimum, let's get into the next one. Number 2. I don't know. I forget the list that I put out. So, and I want to do these in order. So, let me block my head in the sun. You know, I'll take this time to tell you right now, I will have a link down below to nothing. I don't know what to give you. I'll voice that over. I don't know what I'm going to link down below yet, but it will help you because it helped me. And I'll even make a video going over it and how it, you know, thinking while I was walking. You know, another one of my regrets is the way that I end relationships. You know, it's not an inability. I make the decision every time, you know. It all comes from isolating myself. So I think that is regret number 2 is isolation. You know, we all have kind of formed the habit from, you know, years past and certain things that have happened, and you know, I you know, just did it so hard, hit it so hard, and you know, it's kind of engraved in me to, you know, dip out once things start to feel too real. But, you know, I don't get the worst of it. I make the worst decision. You know, the ones that I should stick with and stay, you know, I end up dipping out on some bullshit. And that's coming later in the video. But then and this is also coming later in the video too. You know, the ones that I should leave are the ones that I fucking stay. I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know why I do this. And I would love to elaborate, but I really can't because I don't know why I do it. And I just continue to fucking deal with it. And, you know, especially now that I've, you know, transcended from kind of that behavior, I just can look back now, kind of removed from it, and be like, why do I do this shit? You know, and it's like all the pain that I feel from it is like it's always all my fault. And that's not even me playing the victim here. That's just me recognizing that it's always my fault. Like, you know, well, you know, if you decided to be with people who were healthier for you in your life, then maybe you wouldn't be sitting here all alone because you had to finally cut off the ones that weren't. Stupid. But you live and you learn, and, you know, if I could go back, I would tell myself, you know, it's not a game. It's not fake. They aren't. Everyone isn't out to get you, bro. This isn't some big scheme that everyone is playing. This isn't some game that everyone is playing with you. And every single person that you encounter that, you know, is genuine and seems to actually care about you is not looking to backstab you. Is not, you know, having all these thoughts about you in the back of their head, and they're just, you know, being nice, you know, so you can reveal yourself and they can finally stab you when you're most vulnerable. That is not what is happening, bro. So get out of that fucking mindset. And because Mother's Day is tomorrow, can we just take a second
If you're bloating,
to appreciate the
have a
moms
big
out
fat
there?
face,
Really, you know,
feel like you can't deal with
I'll
any
leave you with
problems at
this.
all.
You know, every single time you get pissed off at your mom, right? And it seems like she's wrong in the moment and she doesn't understand you. Tell me not, I know I'm not alone on this. Every single time my mom has like told me stuff about my actions. My actions. You know, she always ends up being right. And I don't think moms get enough credit for that because, you know, the satisfaction of being right comes from, you know, it comes from a different version of yourself. You don't realize it until it's kind of too late. So, you know, yeah, I decided to start, you know, nurturing more long-term relationships in my family because, you know, at least those are the ones that aren't going to leave based off of some bullshit. So, hey, I mean, we're making progress somewhere, but you know, I'm gonna cook some of this food and I'll get back to you. Now you boys like this thumbnail. My biggest regret. But do you feel like it? What do you feel like it? What do you feel like it? We went over 2 of my biggest regrets, right? Well, let's go into what originally was number 2, but is now number 3. Being competent, aka not thinking big enough. And I got fat. You know, this is not a good physique. This is chubby. And I'm a chubby bunny. I think that's a better thing of me being actually this. It's a much better story of me being complacent, and you won't even know I told the first one because I'm going to cut it out. But, well, little Danny, a year ago, did TikTok shop, became
I used to be a one-punch chump.
You know,
now I'm
I
beating
had
it up.
some very good months, you know, some 5K months here and there, nothing crazy, but, you know, the consistency of cash flow. Back when TikTok shop was a little bit more ludicrous, I did very good and decided that since my goal in the beginning was just to make more money than my original job, I took my foot off the gas, you could say. And when I did that, was that mistake number one in my long journey that I can actually recollect on. Why did I ever do that? Because I became complacent, you know. I was like, well, I've made enough money. Now let's build my relationships up. Any of you who know, those who know.
I used to think about how you would act when a brother got money. Now you done switched up on me. Now you wanna say what's up to me. Okay, so now you wanna make love to me. Girl, if you don't get the fuck from me.
Let's build my relationships up. Let's focus on the things that really matter.
Yes, sir. Keep it up, man. Sick dancer, bro. I met you last year. I don't think you remember, but...
Which was sleeping in all day, seeing my girlfriend all day, and appeasing every single one of her needs. Now, take it at that, I quit my actual job. So I was not working, and I was not doing the inputs I needed to, making TikToks, because I was making money anyways. So why did I need to? Well. I blew through a whole lot of that money, okay? That's the damn truth. I blew through it. Not as quickly as you think, but my allocation of funds was not very ideal. We can go back at the numbers. I was just recently doing some accounting work, you know. $3,500 on the freeze dryer. A whole lot of money on the down payment of this car right here and everything that comes with this car. The insurance. Let's not talk about it. But hey, you know, I spent a lot of money, and a lot of the money that was spent, you know, instead of throwing in the food plan that you would love so much, I'll throw in the little mindset guide, or maybe just a link to another video. I'll try and record another video after this, and I'll type up a good guide, and I'll go through it on a Loom, and I'll throw it up. You know, just how I grew a winning mindset. And, you know, you might, any of you who know me, you know, you see it through the screen that, you know, nothing changed here. Nothing changed here. Everything changed internally, and I kept the parts that I should have kept, so I could come to you face to face as an actual human, not a robot, who goes, you know, look, you look at the outcomes that I've had, the trials that I've taken, the journey I've been on, and I'm still the same person. How did I do that? I thought that you were this dude who, you know, is joking around and doesn't take himself seriously and acts like this, right? But, you know, it's all in a mindset shift that you don't see. You can't really see it through the screen. You can't even see it when you talk to me. You just see it in my silent daily action, and how I actually act 95% of the time that you won't see, because I don't really I do show that side of myself. I showed that in my last video. You see more of the number 4. Letting fear control me. Listen.
Are you fucking serious?
I took a long time to explain this other one too, but I think this is better. Look. You have your faith on this side, and you have your fear on this side. What weighs heavier, a pound of feathers or a pound of rocks? Well, I'll tell you right now. Listen, faith is the feathers. You can have one feather on this side. Fear is the rocks. You can have as many rocks as you have on this side. One feather is going to outweigh all of the rocks. It doesn't matter.
I pay employees in my marketing
because you
agency
learn
$4 an hour, and they're
when you start to do some religious searching and some internal introspective thinking, that if you put your faith over fear, you can accomplish anything, because fear is just an emotion meant to control you, and faith is an emotion meant to get you to overcome the things that control you. Okay, when you have faith, right, it doesn't matter how much it is, because even the tiniest bit, you know, what you need to learn, you need to try and reprogram your mind. I also struggle with this too. So don't act like, you know, I'm just making this sound easy, because it isn't. But there are exercises you can take, and there's things you can do over time to build up your muscle to be able to deal with this stuff, you know. You got to find that little bit of faith that you have. And you need to learn to attach your brain to that fear and attach your brain to that outcome from that faith. You know, you go in, hey, you're LeBron 3-1 down against the Warriors. You go in and you're like, there's a 99% chance that we lose this series. But there's still a chance, there's a 1% chance that we can win 3 games back to back to back and become NBA champions against the 73-9 Warriors. Realistically, that sounds fucking retarded. They lost 9 games throughout the entire regular season. How are you going to make them lose 3 times in a row? But, you know, if they didn't play with that 1% faith and attach themselves to that 1% outcome, it would have never happened, and we would have never experienced the best finals comeback in NBA history. There. I hope you got it from that one, because I explained that one a whole lot better than I did the first time around. And number 5. You know, this is the biggest one. And I bet you will not guess what my biggest regret in this entire journey is. Well. Somehow, some way, it's toxic relationships and environment. Who would have thought? After all of that talk that I had, and number 2, being complacent, that it would come to this, right? Toxic relationships and environment. The reason why it is number 5, why it is my most regretful out of the 5 or 6 things that I shared with you, is that because you are given every opportunity to see the light. Every single fucking opportunity in the book. You have other people. You have your family seeing everything from the third person. You have all of your friends seeing it from the third person. You have other girls seeing it from the third person. And they all tell you, hey, you are in your head right now. Everything you are being seen is a reflection, everything you are seeing is not an accurate reflection of what is actually happening. And because you're in the first person point of view, because you're in the driver's seat, you cannot see it. It is impossible for you to see it, because that is the way the illusion works. That is the illusion of the toxic relationship and environment. You, no matter what way you try and look at it, you will see this mirror, this fake imaginary land that, you know, gives every ounce of fucking leeway and thinking power to the reality that you don't want to believe. So you're going to be in this box of mirrors. You know, you look this way, things are great. You look this way, things are great. You look this way, oh, these might seem bad, but it's not actually bad, right? And then you turn around and look back and you're like, yeah, all those bad things happen, but that's in the past. This is in the future. No matter what way you try and rationalize it to yourself, you cannot break the illusion. Well, you can. I did. But it took me, you know, kind of waking up and having my moment, my Truman Show moment, being like, wait, I'm in a show right now. None of you are real. That's what it fucking took. And the only reason that I could do it is because I realized, wait, every single person that can see this from the third person point of view tells me this. I tell myself this because I'm me. And the reasons that I'm staying in this are only something that I can feel or see. But I'm not happy and I don't like it. So who should I listen to? The people who can see the whole fucking play right in front of them and tell me how it is every single time, or myself, who hates the situation I'm in?
I don't give a fuck about Taiwan, and I don't give a fuck about Ukraine, and I don't give a fuck about Israel. I give a fuck about America. I give a fuck about immunity for Donald J. Trump.
Well. Let's just say I'm very grateful for the people who have taken the time to assess my situation, even if I did you dirty. I wish I didn't do it. Because, oh, if I could go back. If I could go back. You know, I wish I didn't. But, hey, the past is in the past. And another thing about the toxic relationships is that it is literally the #1 killer of any drive you have. You know, you're down and out. You're not making TikToks at all. You're sleeping in until 12 o'clock every single day. And you're like, I don't think I'm making the right choices. I'm kind of running out of money and I'm not doing anything about it. Maybe I should do something about it. No. You need to come over right now. Buy me a coffee. Buy me my food. Pay my bills. And you're gonna sit here the entire day. We're gonna lay down and we're gonna watch TV all day. Throw in some smoking weed, and then you are going to leave at 2 o'clock in the morning. And you are gonna go to sleep and wake up the next day and do it again. And you're gonna like it. And I say, sir, yes, sir. Bro, come on. It couldn't be more fucking obvious. And, saving grace, it wasn't actually that bad. I didn't actually have that much control over me. I was making these decisions for myself. But when you view it from the third term, is that not exactly what was happening? It was, which is why I was losing my money, I was losing my drive, and I was losing my sense of self-worth. I used to tell myself, I thought business was for me. Why is it that now I don't have that same drive that I did anymore? I don't know, bro. Maybe because you're having the soul sucked out of you.
I'm on a diet, but thank you.
Dumbass.
You're kidding, right?
I wish, that's what you gotta learn though, is that, I'll sit here and say, I wish I could go back. I wish I could change these things. These are my biggest regrets. But it's like, besides like these specific things that I think you can get like a lesson out of, I don't regret my past. Because obviously it's led me to be here now. And now I feel like I'm in an actual position to help people, which was the point the whole time, which was the plan at the beginning of the journey. Way back in January was, you've made it out. You know how to make it out. But right now, you can't get others out. You need to get out. You need to show people it's possible. And you need to stack up so much fucking evidence to the point where it is undeniable that you know how to get out. And that other people will actually start to listen. That's the point we're at right now because, hey bro, let me tell you, I made it out and all the evidence shows that I know how to make it out. So, take it from a G. I may not be on my shit. No, I am always on my shit. But I may not be on my most confident self all the time. But, the whole point is to help you. Because that was the vision in the beginning. I don't lose sight of that because this is a whole lot more long-term than you really even think, than I even really think, which is why I'm trying to think so big. Because like I said, you don't realize the capabilities that you have until you get into an environment that allows you to showcase your best self. And me being able to do that, having that freedom to do that bodybuilding show, having the freedom to not work a job. Well, I do work, obviously, but not, be tied to a job, not be tied to something, to be free, It really speaks levels to the type of person that I am and to the type of person that I think everyone else should be. Because then, once you get that freedom, it's your responsibility to use that freedom wisely. And what did I do with my freedom the first time? I told you. I told you what I did with my freedom the first time. I sold it. I sold my soul to the devil. But, hey, that's just the name of the game. A lot of people do say, though, video make you feel fucking electric. In the hospital bed, from cutting, bro just wants to do some cardio. That shit makes me want to go to the gym right now. That the first time that you do make a lot of money and, kind of do something in the way that I did, you fall down the same path that I did. I just fell down it in a very, very weird way. And I'm very glad that I'm out of it now. And, I also recorded this at the end of the last video. I'm very thankful for all of you who even made it this far in the video, who even decided to click on the video, for even believing in me. because, you know, I was talking about my fear of rejection, and I didn't think, you know, that the support would be so overwhelming. I didn't think that I would meet these friends along the way and people would support me and, you know, I could actually provide value. But, you know, I do recognize that I can, and I will continue to help you as much as I can. Give it all. Hey, this is what I did. Listen or don't listen, you know, because you guys do support me. And the fact that you even sat here and watched this video means a lot to me, because I wouldn't be able to do it. I wouldn't be able to do it. I wouldn't be able to sit through a video, not unless I really cared about the person. And you guys care a lot about me and really helping me get over my fear of rejection. I appreciate that a lot. You know, thank God. Thank you. And, you know, without you, I'm nothing. So, you know, don't look up to me like I'm this person who... I do look pretty good, but don't look up to me like I'm this god, like I'm this authority figure. I mean, I am, and because that's how I'm positioning myself. But please, for the love of God, realize that we are the same person. And that, especially if you know me, that there is no difference between you and me, bro. We used to sit in the same room. We used to be friends, bro. We used to have conversations. I am still that same person. I have been the same person the entire time, and I'm still that same fucking person with all those issues that I had. You know, I've just worked to be able to overcome them, and I've found a system that works for me. And just because it works for me does not mean that it won't work for you. You know, we are a lot more alike than you think, and that is why I'm talking to you right now. So, you know, do yourself a favor, help yourself, you know. Check out the mindset guide that I left down in the description. Whew, and I'm going to make a video on that. So if you do want to use it, I do recommend watching the video, but you know, we're going to cut this down. Just thank you, you know, and know that none of these like things that I put out, none of them are traps, bro. None of them are traps. I am literally just giving it to you for free. Out of the goodness of my heart, okay? It's because I know it will help you. Because it helped me. It's exactly what I did. So, you know. That's why I just try and make the structures more, you know, hey, I'm done explaining myself. Just check it out, bro. Just check it out. I wouldn't put it out if I didn't think it would help you. So, take it as you will. Thank you for watching this video. I hope this one was more watchable than the last one, but I thank all of you who watched the last one. Let's go. Somehow, some way. We're going to make it. I'm going to make it. You're going to make it. We're in this together. Let's go.